Welcome to Ask an Oiler, presented by Ford. It's our first edition of Ask an Oiler in 2013, and our first guest is Oilers winger Taylor Hall. Taylor, this is fan questions. I know you've done this before, so what do you say we get right into it?
Sure, sounds good.
All right, here we go. Travis in Edmonton wants to know, what's your best memory of OKC, having played there for the start of this season? Was it the city, the people, the weather? What did you like?
The weather at the start was great. We were out in the pool every day in our complex, and I think probably the best memory for us was being able to go to the NBA basketball games. We had a really good time doing that, and they're just a fun team to play, and I really got to experience what it's like to be a fan for the first time.
You speak about the weather. Is it kind of weird going to the pool in like October, November?
Yeah, it was a little bit different, but at the same time, it did get kind of cold there towards the end of our stint, and on Christmas we actually had snow, so it was a pretty good time, and I think we all look back on with fond memories.
Okay, Travis also throws this in there. He wants to know why the switch to Bauer gear.
I just my contract ran out with Easton, and decided to make the switch to Bauer. They're a really good Canadian company, and a lot of players really enjoy using their stuff, so I figured it'd be a good fit.
There we go. There you go, Travis. All right, moving on to Lee in Edmonton. Lee says, you played wing and center in junior. Which position is more fun to play and why?
I'd have to say I'm better suited to the wing. I know there's been conversations of me switching to center and trying that position out, but at the same time, I'd really like to continue developing as a winger and developing chemistry with guys like Sam and Ryan as centermen, and I feel like that's probably what I'm going to play best at in the future.
Okay, to stick with that development topic, Daniel in Schweinfurt, Germany wants to know what aspect of the game do you think you still need to improve in, and he also passes along some greetings from Germany.
Well, thank you, Daniel. I'd say probably my defensive zone play. I still have a lot to learn in that category, and getting older and being a leader on this team, I really realize that that's something you have to really do well, and I'm continuing to try to improve on it. It's not something that comes natural to me. I really like to get the puck and go on offense, but you have to remember to play on the D side of the puck, and I think we're all improving in that.
How was that transition, learning the defensive side of the game from junior to the NHL for you? I know it's been a couple of years, but how much of a gap was there between those two leagues, as CHL and the NHL?
There's a huge gap. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be a Nuge last year, coming from junior as a centerman to the NHL as a centerman. It's probably a huge step, but for me, it made it a lot easier playing with Horkoff and guys like that early on, and definitely as a winger you have it a little bit easier than centerman, but at the same time there's a lot of responsibilities that you don't really realize that you have until you get to this level.
Okay, moving on to Terry in Leduc. Terry says, based on the longevity of the season that the many young players are used to and the unavoidable demand to win every game that the team will always face, do you believe this team is much more comfortable to play and is destined to blossom in this shortened season?
I definitely think it's an advantage for us. I've talked to a lot of guys around the league, and they think that having a young team is going to help us, and I really like the way that we've prepared so far with Ralph, and we're taking our rest, and that's going to be a huge part of this season, and if we prepare the way we should and properly, I think we're not going to have a problem with just being tired or anything like that. It's going to be a compact schedule, but if we do the right things off the ice, it should be a fun time.
Okay, we're going to throw one last one in there before we wrap up. Matt in Windsor, your old stomping grounds, wants to know, what was your favorite, best memory from the old barn, the Madhouse on McDougall, Stamkos crosscheck, or Harry Young? Do you know what that, does that ring a bell?
Yeah. I'll tell the stories, actually. My first year in Windsor, we played in I think it was the second oldest rink in Canada, and it was a crazy barn. It had steel on the ceiling, so every time a fan yelled anything, it would echo throughout the whole building, and it was very loud. And we were playing Sarnia in the first round of the playoffs. It was Steven Stamkos' last year of junior before he got picked #1, and we were in game 3 at home, and Steven Stamkos cross-checked a guy on our team really badly. It would be like honestly a 15-gamer in the NHL right now. And he didn't get suspended or anything, and we thought that was a bit of a joke, and he came back, and I think he had 9 goals in 4 games that series. So
he's a good player.
Yeah, and it just totally turned it around for them, and we lost the series in 5 games, so it was kind of a heartbreaker for them, and I always look back on that moment, what could have been, but we had a great time in Windsor, and certainly some good memories in spite of that.
So some insight into back in the day, the early career of Taylor Hall.
Yeah, exactly. No, we had so much fun in Windsor. I really think that we're starting to build that kind of camaraderie and team chemistry like we have here. And Edmonton's a great place to play. It's a fun place to play, and we have a great room, and it reminds me a lot of Windsor.
Taylor, thank you very much for your time. Certainly appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks.
That's Taylor Hall for the first edition of Ask an Oiler, presented by Ford in 2013.